So let's take you through the starting grid for our first final of the 2023 Rotax Max Challenge Golden Trophy. It's Junior Rotax up first, and here is your starting grid. Pole position is in the hands of Matej Radenkovic, with Tom Streller, Cameron Nelson, Jacob Ashcroft, Armand Hamilton, Lewis Goff, Max Cuthbert, Kasper Nissen, Hannes Überfeld, and Adas Majauskis rounding out the top 10. Rounding out the top 20 is Timo Jungling, Lukas Sells, Boris Maximov, Tino Sidler, Noah Janssen, Theodor Tubal, Martin Lichner, Thomas Ingram Hill, Jake Menton, and Francis Victor Galmiche. Mika van der Pavert lines up on 21st, and behind him, and comprising of the 36-strong grid, will be as follows: Oliver Stedtler, Sinjepes Ornbol, Jol Kaspar Joipere, Ryan Bourguignon, Zane Quaker, Carl Christian Tukru, Matthias Jäderup, Aaron Vida, Mathis Ometre, Mate Kobehidze, František Sulima, Zach Turner, Viti Väinänen, Vlad Tomenchuk, and rounding out the grid is Canada's Ryan Gandor. Now the drivers get themselves ready for 11 minutes plus an additional lap of racing here in the Golden Trophy Junior Rotax Final. Drivers make their way out of the final corner. Revs rise, noise increases, lights are out, and we are underway into turn one, being led by Matej Radenkovic. And oh, Jacob Ashcroft has gone spinning, was 90 degrees sideways to the right, and got put into the right direction. Some scrambling over the grass, one of which is the 251. And that just goes to show how quickly things can turn upside down and on its head. And Ron Lynn and all the team at Alchemy Car Care cheering on Lewis Goff. That was Lewis I just saw actually rallycrossing just there, coming through turn number 3. So it's not been an easy start for these drivers as they make their way out of turn number 8 for the first time. And Radenkovic is leading the way heading into turn number 10. So drivers trying to make their way through. Second, it's Armand Hamilton. Third, it's the 238 of Tom Streller, who's up the inside of Hamilton through turn number 12 and gets through for second place before the end of the first lap. So Radenkovic leads. Streller second, Hamilton, Cuthbert, Nelson, Jungling, Überfeld, Nissen, Noah Janssen and Thomas Ingram Hill round out the top 10. And a little bit wide by Tom Streller coming out of turn number 4. So some drivers trying to make the level best of it at this moment. And, well, Lewis Goff has dropped all the way down to 24th. Rounding out the top 12 is Adas Majauskis, as there goes Tom Streller for the lead up the inside of turn number 7. on Matej Radenkovic. Now through into turn 8. Radenkovic trying to get through on the Latvian, gets through for the race lead at turn 8. All 36 drivers still circulating. Jacob Ashcroft down to 16th and is going to try and push forward. We've got just under 9 minutes plus an additional lap of this junior Rotax final for the Golden Trophy, racing here at the home of champions, Karting Genk. In order to answer your question, Raihan Nazir on YouTube. Oh, moment there. That was for Hannah Zuberfeld coming out of turn 11. Cuthbert, Youngling. Then we got Cameron Nelson. There's Zuberfeld right behind the train. And Sela now has a lead of just under 1.1 seconds over Matej Radenkovic, who's now got Armand Hamilton through and up the inside at turn 2. Timo Youngling now up into 4th place ahead of Max Cuthbert and also Cameron Nelson, who round out the top 6. Noah Janssen loses out to Thomas Ingram Hill, who's up to 9th. Carl Christon Tukru, the Estonian, has dropped all the way down to around about 34th position. As everyone scrambling for position and real estate on the circuit. Oh, dearie me. That was not a good one there, as the 201 of Radenkovic got clattered into the right-hand side by Cameron Nelson coming through turn 7. Max Cuthbert keeping it pinned to the outside of Hannah Zuberfeld into turn 8. And there is Casper Nissen in the 208, trying to also get through and make up ground, and does so on Uberfeld, who runs wide. There's the 228. That's Thomas Ingram Hill making a position on the German in the meantime. Some drivers taking the unique approach of going, well, round the outside of the 221 and the 210 went Noah Janssen. That was on Kasper Joipura from Estonia and Tino Sidler from Switzerland. Great anticipation there from Noah Janssen to use the outside line. As the drivers make their way back onto the Europalan, which Tom Sveller is trying to stretch that advantage over Armand Hamilton. It's side by side between Casper Nissen, all sideways there for Thomas Ingram Hill coming out of turn number 6. Manages to avoid the grasses up the inside of Matej Radenkovic through turn 7. Tries to go Max Cuthbert. He's got Casper Nissen right behind, along with Thomas Ingram Hill, Hannah Zuberfeld in the 228 and the 202. Boris Maximov has just joined the party as well in the 230. So all 36 drivers rounded out by Zane Quaker in 35th and Jake Menton in 36 are still circulating after 3 laps. We're now completing lap number 4, and it's Tom Strella from Latvia who leads the way by nearly 1.4 seconds over Armand Hamilton. Timo Youngling, Cameron Nelson, Matej Radenkovic, Max Cuthbert, Casper Nissen, Thomas Ingram Hill, Hannah Zuberfeld and Boris Maximov round out the top 10. No change in the top 27 drivers, rounded out by Vlad Tominchuk as Lucas Sells gets past Ryan Bourguignon for 28th. Nissen now tries to go up the inside of Thomas Ingram Hill, who this time was not sideways coming out of turn 6. And the 228 representing the UK manages to get through. So Strela leads from Hamilton, Youngling, Nelson, Radenkovic, Cuthbert, Nissen, Ingram Hill, Uberfeld, Maximov, Majauskis, Janssen. Sidler, Joipura and Lishner round out the top 15. Jacob Ashcroft in 16th, ahead of the likes of Mika van der Pavet, Theodor Tubal, also Sinja Pez on ball, and Lewis Goff now has recovered to 20th position. And Maximov just fires it round the outside into turn 12 on Hannah Zuberfeld, who gets the undercut through into the final part of the circuit. And they're going to be side by side. Uberfeld gets through. And this time, the 272 tries to get through on the pair of them. That was Adas Majauskis, and they're swamping him at the moment. Janssen is back in the mix in that one too. So it's very, very difficult to see who will level up in terms of positions at this moment. So still plenty of chopping and changing happening at this moment. So, Karting at Port, it was tickets up for grabs for this year's Grand Finals. For the Grand Festival, Micro and Minimax had one ticket available. No other tickets available for this weekend. It's about becoming the prestigious winner of a one-off event. 3.5 minutes still to go, and Tom Streller has a lead of 1.8 seconds over Armand Hamilton. It still has pretty much been stabilised at the top 7, make that the top 10. So you've got the likes of Streller, who's leading by nearly 1.9 seconds over Armand Hamilton. Timo Jungling is trying to close on in and is about 7 and a bit tenths of a second behind the Hungarian. Cameron Nelson in 4th, Matej Radenkovic, who started on pole position. Rounding out the top 5, Max Cuthbert, Thomas Ingram Hill, Kasper Nissen, Adas Majalskis, Boris Maximov, and now rounding out the top 10 is Germany's Hannes Zuberfeld. Well, actually the top 11 is Hannes Zuberfeld, so Maximov up into 10th place, Majalskis up to 9th. I cannot believe what I'm seeing now. More than 700 of you watching live as it happens, direct from the home of champions at Karting Genk, as we are 3 finals of the way through this event, this one-off event here at the home of champions. A big thank you to you all for watching and tuning in all the way over the weekend. And now, there is Cameron Nelson trying to fight with Matej Radenkovic, and hot on the heels, on their coattails, is the 2, 3, 4 of Max Cuthbert. And there is Radenkovic frantically waving to Cameron Nelson, saying, come on, get on with it, let's move. And decides to go through on the 241, but Nelson decides otherwise. Max Cuthbert looking up the inside, and then Cameron Nelson round the outside at turns 3 and 4 on the pair of them, retakes 4th in the process. Nearly gets caught up, well, nearly gets the back end all sideways, does Cameron Nelson, heading out of turn number 6 and heading onto the Europolan once again. Time is fast running out. We are down to 1.5 minutes plus an additional lap. And Tom Streller, who has the fastest lap of the race so far, that was done on lap number 5, 1 minute 13.949. And his lead is around about 1.8 seconds over Armand Hamilton. Radenkovic is still keeping Max Cuthbert at bay, but they've got to watch for Thomas Ingram Hill in the 228, who's closing on their 6s rather quickly. See, I'm getting messages all the way through, whether it's being WhatsApp, thanks to Tracy and David Robertson in Abu Dhabi, and then Simon on Facebook decides to throw one my way. He's watching on his smartphone at the moment. Glad you're enjoying the show, Simon. So quite a few people watching along. 34 seconds on the timer remains here in the Rotax Max Challenge Golden Trophy Junior Rotax Final. And Armand Hamilton has been on a bit of a tear. He's got that gap down to 1.4 seconds, and in the process has set the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 13.849 by the Hungarian. And all right, that's an interesting one. Wrong starting position for Jake Menton. A 5-second time penalty for being in the wrong grid position. He should have started in 19th position, but the timer has expired. Radenkovic trying to get past Cameron Nelson as the last lap is underway. Tom Streller still leads. What's the gap between him and Hamilton? 1.2 seconds. As the sunshine continues to beat down on the home of champions, Tom Streller is starting to get towards the business end. It's the winner take all here at the Golden Trophy in the Grand Festival. If you win the final, you are the event winner. And Tom Streller, I still remember first meeting him and his dad Armand's a couple of years ago when he was a wee pup. And now look at him. He's done an absolutely fantastic job transitioning to juniors this year. and has been absolutely dynamite in both Latvia and in Nordic, and also has shown signs of brilliance here in continental Europe. But Armand Hamilton, you're running out of corners, but he's getting closer. One more corner remains, and the checkered flag will be out this time, because out of the final corner, your 2023 Golden Trophy Junior Road Tax champion, it goes to Latvia. Tom Strela takes the spoils here at the home of champions by just over 0.7 of a second. Armand Hamilton takes second position, Timo Jungling third, Cameron Nelson fourth, Max Cuthbert in fifth, ahead of Mateo Dankovic, Thomas Ingram Hill, Kasper Nissen, Alas Majalskis, Boris Maximov rounds out the top 10. Hanna Zuberfeld, Jacob Ashcroft, Noah Janssen, Tino Sidler and Martin Lichner round out the top 15. Completing the top 20, it's Lewis Goff, Mika van der Pavert, Sinje Pezonbol, Matthias Jallerup, Jol Kasper, Joipura, Zach Turner, Viti Veninen, Lucas Sells, Aaron Vida, Victor Galmiche, Ryan Bourguignon, Theodore Tubal. Then we've got Carl Christian Tukru, Oliver Stedler, Francisek Sulima, Mathis Ometra, Ryan Gandor, Mate Kobehidze from Georgia, Vlad Tomenchuk, Zen Kraker, and Jake Menton. And your 2023 Golden Trophy Junior Road Tax champion, it's none other than the young Latvian superstar of the future, Toms Strela.